Hi everyone, my name is Nala Halfbean. Welcome to my channel. And so in today's video, I'm going to talk about who should actually go to an integrative yoga therapist and who should not. I find that it's super important for any integrative yoga therapist to really explain what it is they do, because it is a relatively new field and not everyone really understands it. And it's good to have sort of an understanding of it before you get into it, or to be like, oh wow, I really should not be doing that because I'm not willing or to do these sort of things. So not every yoga therapist works the same, so this is kind of like a general thing, but some of them are applicable to all integrative yoga therapists, and I'll try my best to mention which ones those are and which ones are specific to me. Don't come to me if you're not like this. But yeah, okay, so things that you should come to us for. One of the things that would be really helpful is that if you're symptomatic and you have things, you have an underlying condition that you do not want to use Western medicine, you do not want to use Chinese medicine. It doesn't necessarily have to be like this, but you're just oh, a yoga therapist. I don't know what that is. It sounds cool, and I seem to dig it. Then that would be cool to come to us. But one thing that we're really, integrative yoga therapists are different to yoga teachers are, integrative yoga therapists are equipped to deal with symptomatic patients. So people who have an issue. So a yoga teacher is for general wellness. You go into a yoga class, you might have an issue, you might have an injury or two. You tell the teacher, hey, yo, what's up? I got my back thing, so don't come to me and just break my back, basically, when I'm in a pose, right? That's something that you should let your teacher know if that's, if you are attending yoga classes. It's good to let them know so that they don't, because they are not trained to assist you in that way. That's what we do. So actually, a lot of the clients that I get, they come to me because they've been injured by yoga, and they learn to love yoga, and they know that it feels amazing in their body, but they just need to do yoga in a different way or with a different mind and a different spirit to be able to work. And sometimes different postures, some postures are just no-goes for you, for different body types, different bone structures and things like that. And that's something that a yoga therapist would know more and is more trained to help you with than someone just a yoga teacher. They're just more for amazing wellness. You go in there, namaste, out. And that actually keeps your wellness. That's wonderful. Integrative yoga therapists, you're there to almost help heal, cure. I don't know if cure is the right word, but just basically to help, if you're dealing with pain and you want to be painless, an integrative yoga therapist is the best. Although you might have even the same benefits with a yoga teacher. So that's so symptomatic people is basically what we deal with. That's what we do. So if you got issues, come to us. Yay. Okay, so the second thing that would be wonderful to work with a yoga therapist is if you have a goal. Specific goal. So again, going back to the yoga teacher example, is that if you go to a yoga teacher, you might necessarily not have a specific goal in mind. It's not with a yoga therapist, you could have a goal I want to lose weight, I want to be more happy, I want to be more things, and then you have a conversation with your yoga therapist of ways to go about in achieving that. And also one thing that integrative yoga therapists are really great at is to help you with your career, things that bring you joy, because the bliss body, literally the layer of your body that is so connected with your soul to basically show you, to make you realize your own purpose in life and what you want to do and what really brings you joy and lights you up, is something that an integrative yoga therapist can help you with. Although I would say, I don't want to poo-poo on yoga teachers because they're amazing and they're always so awesome and so wonderful. And I think by their aura, they will imbue that to you anyways, just by their own life experience, their own practices and things like that. But it would be more from a conversation that you have with them after class rather than a structured session that you could have with an integrative yoga therapist to be yo, what's happening? What's going on? Where is my life going wrong? Or what are things that I can get more aligned with my soul's purpose, essentially. That's what we do. So come to us if that's what you like. This is actually an area, it's like one of my favorites. Like I always wanted to help people with their careers and like to find their passion, because I was always so passionate, and people always asked me about like, what do you do, or what are you on, or like, how did you find what you wanted to do? And I'm like, I was also confused, but it like happened, like, you know, slowly, and you just find the things that you really enjoy doing and you get to it. Such as integrative yoga therapy. That's how I found it. I was looking for things. I was thinking of becoming a Western doctor, and I wasn't happy about that choice, but it was so focused that's what was going to be it. But now that I'm a yoga therapist, I'm happy about what I do, and I can't wait to have clients and things like that. So it's a little anecdotal story for you. So other things that an integrative yoga therapist does, or it would be helpful to actually go to an integrative yoga therapist for, is if you have a terminal case. This is going to sound a bit strange, but essentially when we were learning integrative yoga therapy, all the case studies that were given to us were basically people who none of the other fields could have any help or could assist with, and then you go to a yoga therapist and you heal yourself, essentially. Those were the case studies that I was literally learning with. And so I have seen the power of integrative yoga therapy with these sort of cases. I cannot say that like every situation is very different, so it's not like a promise that I'm giving to you, but this is just from experience, and also like the change and transformation that I've witnessed in my own, that I'm honored and privileged to witness in my own clients, is really, I can see it. Like I can really see it. So even though I personally have not yet worked with a terminal case, I have faith that integrative yoga therapy is definitely going to help them. Whether to make this transition more smooth or just help them with their pain and their symptoms that they're dealing with, it's fantastic for this. So if you've lost hope, please come to us, find one near you. I work via distance, so definitely call me. I will leave a link somewhere of like how you can book a session with me. But basically all of my YouTube channels has like a book appointment with Nahal if you want. So do let me know. I would love to assist you in that area. So that's something that's actually, we usually get all the cases that are like integrative yoga therapists in general, usually people who are absolutely desperate and have tried everything else. Then they're like, oh, what's an integrative yoga therapist? Then they're like, well, I haven't tried that. Let me go to it. And many cases have shown that like it's been really, really helpful. So if there's anyone that you know that's struggling in this area, please do consider like integrative yoga therapy. I have yet to witness it in a terminal case, but I'm excited to just work with anyone who's on the precipice or has been given basically like a sentence to expect death and to witness a miracle. Yeah, so that's like those are 3 things that I can think of that, like, if you're symptomatic, if you have a goal, if you really want to if you have terminal cases, try an integrative yoga therapist. They all vary with their trainings, so this is something definitely to look into and to see, to assess, to see like whether or not they would be willing to work with you. But yeah, these are 3 very specific examples that I think of course, in addition to any of the mental and emotional things that you can think about, or any physical pain. You're like, I don't even know where this came from, like, or like unexplained or chronic pain. My gosh, energy. Oh my God, I just listed another 4 like out there. But basically like physical things, physical injuries, like underlying symptoms. I don't know a single thing that integrative yoga therapy cannot do. So even though I listed those very specific things for you guys to have like, oh, okay, like, no, that's something that you can go and to a yoga therapist for, literally just go to them and say like, this is what I need. Can you help me with this? And they'll be like, most probably they'll be like, yeah, Yeah, I can. I have been surprised from my own, not only skill, but also just like ability to help people with. And I'm like, how did this even happen that I came up with all these things? But somehow with integrative yoga therapy, they train you to have a mindset that it's like integrative in its sense. So even things that I've never dealt with before, when it happens, when a client presents themselves to me, it's almost as if as instantly as they present themselves, I suddenly have the skills to be able to help them. Or like, by the grace of God, like, it's like one of those fate or destiny situations, because I don't believe anyone just goes to anyone. So actually with that, is go find, yoga therapy is for someone that you really want to actually change. That's actually something super important that I didn't mention before. I will mention these points all in the comments below, so if you wanted to follow and like look at the summary, like, oh, these are the things that it's good for. But basically, yeah, integrative yoga therapy is like amazing for so many things. And yeah, there's literally nothing I can think of that it's not good for. So just go for it, man. Now on to who it's not for. This is something a bit more specific. And I think people, it's really important to be clear with each of the different things. So the first thing that I really wanted to mention that is super important is that we're not psychologists, right? So in yoga, one of the things that they do train us in is like, you know, words have vibration, they have energy, and they're like, you know, someone's going on a rant with like just being like, and they're just like, you can literally sense, like my body gets tense, their body gets tense. Like it doesn't feel good for anyone. I will stop this speech. So that in that sense, we're not psychotherapists in the sense that we allow you to just say whatever you want to say, even though yoga teachers do provide a lot of space for you to explore your inner world and your inner sanctum. However, we will cut you off if you start going into like a story, or you go into like a negative, like, what do you call it? Negative Susie or negative something. There's one name that is like, usually it's a phrase. I can't think of it right now, but I don't want to butcher anyone's name also. But basically, yeah, if you're on a negative rant, we're not going to let you continue, because that literally, I can see or feel the impact that that instantly will have on your physical body. And I remember also before I started integrative yoga therapy, I remember I was being really negative and I was in this rut, and I was starting to tell this person all the things that I was going through. And as I was speaking, I could see her face just be like, oh my God, like just stop. Just stop talking. Because like as you're speaking, like just change your language, that perspective. So if you are wanting to cling on to your stories and not let them go and not feel better, which might actually be the same thing, like directly connected with each other, don't go to an integrative yoga therapist, because they're not going to let you like share all. So I don't want to make it sound like integrative yoga therapists are not going to listen to you, but our purpose is not talk therapy. That's basically what I mean. So if you're needing talk therapy and you're needing to like really like go through it yourself, I probably will prescribe like some reflective practices for you to just pour it all out, rather than listen to it and have you repeat it again. Like, we're trying to get out of a cycle, not remain in a cycle. So the second thing is people who do not want to change. This is a huge thing. This is a huge thing. So there are people who have been to other healers, like Western physicians, and they're just looking for a Band-Aid solution. They don't really want to change themselves. They don't want to like do anything different. They don't want to disrupt their lives. However, something that integrative yoga therapy will suggest to you gently is that perhaps the reason why you're not feeling good or you're not in a happy state might be because you're doing the same things over and over again and you're expecting a different result, which this is incorrectly quoted, but I don't actually know who the person is. They say it's Albert Einstein, but apparently it's not, who said this thing. If you try the same thing over and over again, that's like the definition of insanity. So if you're wanting to do the exact same thing that you did, or even you go to an integrative yoga therapist and you expect to do asanas, which is the physical postures, even that is an expectation that you're throwing on an integrative yoga therapist, rather than being like, okay, let's have a conversation and I just want to feel better. Let's find the ways in which we can do that. That feels good to me, feels good to you. You're able to teach, I'm able to learn, and not like want to kill myself, like, or not just want to, that's not a good phrase actually. But some integrative yoga therapists will deal with people who are suicidal. So that's something that like, integrative yoga therapists are not really trained to work on, is suicide per se, but they will try to change your perspective in a way. So I think actually psychotherapists are actually trained to work with people who are suicidal. I'm not sure about this, but integrative yoga therapists do not have a specific, let's say, qualification to assist with that. Although I do think many people would be, many integrative yoga therapists would be receptive to assisting you with that. But it just might, like, we're not like certified by a piece of paper of some kind to be like, we're able to assist with that. So that's something to also be mindful of. And so other things that I can think about that integrative yoga therapy is not for is, basically anyone who, this whole change, not wanting to change is like a really big one. Is basically if you want to stay in the same place, do the same thing, you're not open to trying something new. In fact, it's really interesting because like anyone who comes to an integrative yoga therapist is already like pretty much like open-minded, because they're trying something new that is not so widespread at this era of our human life, but it will be. That is for sure. It will be more integrated into Western therapy. It's already integrated into many of the Western healthcare systems around the world, like Canada, Germany, India, the States. And so it's under like a physician will like a referral, which is a specialization referral to an integrative yoga therapist. So that's definitely something that's like will be more well known. But until we're there, these videos are helpful for people to like get to know a little bit more about what integrative yoga therapy is, and also to remember that like each integrative yoga therapist is different, what they work on specifically. I am a more general, I thought I had my specialty, which was women and like maternal births and like pregnancies and things like that. But then also people have come to me with different sort of issues, and I've been able to assist them. So I don't want to have a specific specialty that I tell to you that this is what I specifically do. I do like to be a generalist in that sense. Like I do like variety of cases. So yeah, bring me your issues if that's something that you want to work with me with. So yeah, those are some things that integrative yoga therapy is really amazing for. And then some things who like people that should not go to integrative yoga therapists. Oh yes, so one other thing with not like why someone should not go to an integrative yoga therapist is that if you have a habit of taking medication or herbs and you expect to be healed that way. So let's say, for instance, there's many placebo or researches that have been done that if you expect to be healed by herbs alone, then that's the thing that's going to heal you. So if you know that's your case and you're expecting that, and you want to go to an integrative yoga therapist, we have some herbs with Ayurveda that we will recommend and suggest, but not necessarily everyone would. It's not like I'm prescribing it to you, but it's just like a suggestion or like a supplement or something to ask your doctor or your nutritionist or your dietitian or your herbalist or whatever. There are specific things that we can recommend, but if you're expecting to heal through a physical object of some kind, then this might not be it for you. However, if you're open, if you're like, I've taken all these medications, I've taken all these herbs, but nothing has worked for me, and I'm quite willing to try anything, this is the one for you. So I hope this video was a bit more clarifying on who integrative yoga therapy is for, who it's not for. And if you want to try it, like essentially fine, you're welcome to come to me for an appointment. You're welcome to go to other people. If you come to me and there's a specific thing that you work on that I'm like, I don't know. I haven't had a case like this, but if I'm like, I don't know, I will have other integrative yoga therapists to recommend to you, because I have a plethora of friends that are beautifully well and trained in very specific areas. And so if you need more assistance, I got the connections for you to like go to them. But just ask me. But yeah, that's something that if it is integrative yoga therapy is something that you want to look into, I highly recommend it. It has been so beneficial to me, and I really have the privilege and the honor of witnessing time and time again the transformation in people. It is very exciting every single time I see it. I'm always surprised, even though I expect it at the same time, and I'm like, it's gonna happen, like, or it's like it's like just like the magic is in the air. So it's really phenomenal if you really want to, if you're really willing and ready to like change your life. But I also did want to let you guys know the things that like people usually, integrative yoga therapists don't really like to go into who it's not for, which gets confusing sometimes. Like people don't know, it's like, I don't know if whether or not it's a good thing. So hopefully this video was a tad bit more helpful on that in choosing an integrative yoga therapist and what you can expect in an integrative yoga therapy session. Oh, maybe this one more thing. I keep adding things for the people who should not go to integrative yoga therapy. There's a lot of change in an integrative yoga therapy session. We ultimately meet you where your needs are. So we might make a plan in a 10-session healing cycle, which is what is normal in an integrative yoga therapy session. But maybe session 2 already like, whoa, we've discovered some new things and we're ready to change. But then if you have like, you're like, but I thought we were gonna do this, and that adaptability and resilience, or like that aspect of like, I'm ready to meet the moment every time it's there, rather than cling on to a plan that we made initially, expect evolution. So if that's a bit difficult for you, it's not to say that we're not organized or we're not, it's just the plan is constantly changing depending on what presents itself. And there's some days where I have planned with people like an asana, a physical yoga therapy session, but then they come to me with a emotional crisis, and then immediately the conversation changes. And which would be that like, if you were in a session and somebody insisted on doing yoga therapy when you're literally about to cry, that will just aggravate you and agitate you more, and that's not what we want to do. So some adaptability. So if you're not adaptable, don't go to integrative yoga therapy. But if you are, that's cool. Like, that's a good thing. So that's for and not for. So yeah, if you like this video, subscribe to my channel, like this video, and share it with your friends. If anyone has any of these things that you think would be helpful for them. My website and my link, you can book an appointment with me in the description box below. You can see it, check it out there, if that's something that you want to work with me specifically about. If not, I have a ton of other videos on this Yoga Avec Moi channel if you would like to learn more. Anyways, so I will see you in the next video. Bye. Hope that was helpful.